Hi and welcome to That Friday Feeling. Yes, we have reached the Friday. Yes, we're in lockdown and the Friday doesn't really mean the same as usual, but who's to say that? We can still have a great Friday. You can still do other things. You can still have a beer. If you don't have a beer, have a soft drink. Get online, speak to your friends, have some fun. But stay in, save lives, and let's get back out there again. Anyway, so if you watched the previous movie, or video should I say, I'll probably leave one of them banner things popping up to take you back if you didn't watch it. Houston, we did have a problem. Mr. RC Sound still hasn't emailed me back. It did say on there 24 to 48 hours. Hopefully he's well and he's not ill. So hopefully he'll get back to me. So all I've done is I've disconnected the sound system. I did put the receiver back in, which I'll show you in a second. But I thought today's video would be to get the wings sorted. Now, if you remember, I broke a servo. Yes, I did. I didn't break it, it just come off. Anyway, let's have a look, shall we? Alrighty, back in the room on a funky Friday afternoon, I believe it is. Yeah, I did start the video a bit late today than anticipated. I want a full-on day today, but most things like that never happen. Anyway, I hope you're all feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good. So anyway, after the disasters yesterday of the sound system, I did put this back in today. What I did is that I made, this is a, if I can get it in focus, see if it'll do on the hand there. See if I can stick my hand there and there. Oh, I don't love things. There you go, it's in focus. Right, that is a tool that make a threading tool basically. So once I threaded the holes, I used I had some Allen key screws and then just tied them up. So I didn't want to, because it's wood, I didn't want to use the like the normal wood screws, because if I want to keep taking it in and out, if I want to, that is, the thread would just go. A bit like the speakers, they're just normal screws for wood. So I hear that, that Ian is possibly going to have a wife haircut, a lockdown haircut. So that'd be interesting. I'll have to add something on our forum, so you can add pictures, because that'd be pretty interesting to see. Might even make a subject, lockdown craziness. So I think I'm going to probably change the lens. I thought it'd be good with this lens, but it's only good for close-ups, as you can see. Well, let's keep it like this. Let's see if we can get on. If not, I'll have to change it. So we're not working on the body yet today. Scariest place ever, putting it on the floor, but what can you do? Right, so what happened indeed. Right, as you can possibly see, the the arm I've taken off for now. The actual arm's over here, if I can get it. So it should be in focus. Yeah, there's the arm, and that's where it holds on to the gear flap. So you can actually see the tyres in here. They are foam. I thought they would be rubber. So obviously in the sequencer, I do say obviously a lot. When the sequencer happens, this door opens first, and then the retracts come out. Lovely wheel though, very sexy, quite big, lovely. Anyway, but what happened is that this actually sticks out like that. And where I pushed the wing on and didn't realise it stacked out, didn't look, it pulled this off. Now if it happens to you, because I think it's happened to other people, because obviously everyone just said I'll just glue it back in, so I'm not the only idiot around there. Well, you're not idiots, but you know, you just get so excited that you forget. Just make sure you get all the white glue that they've used on there, and all I used was foam tack. And with that foam tack, you know, you just push it down, take it back off, leave it for about 2 minutes, maybe a minute, stick it back in. Solid. That is solid. Now I had another problem, that basically if you put the arm back on and it's not in the right place, the screw is there. but it's below the end. So what I had to do is just get a screwdriver. That's coming, yeah, beautiful focus. I mean, obviously this is the wrong screwdriver, but all I did was just push the screw right through there, and there it is there. So just slightly off, but it's enough so I can screw it back on again. And to be honest, I don't think that's going to really change the stability of the plane. Who knows? Well, but if you do another one in the other wing, but hopefully you'll notice that this is sticking up and not like me. And I didn't, and I just went for it. But that can't have been on that great. I mean, it's good it did come off, so I didn't break anything. And now it's solid with the foam tack. So basically, what I need to do today is put the arm back on, jiggle around with it, make sure it's okay. We're going to be using my little box of tricks, and then we're going to stick the wings together. And then once the wings are together, there's nothing to stop us from putting it on the fuselage and seeing if the retracts work and the lights LEDs work. So yeah, so that's today's mission. As I say, we put the we put the audio to bed for now until Mr. RC Sound emails me back, whenever that will be. But yeah, that'll be another little chat about that, maybe for a live session. To see what the issue with that. But I was thinking of actually getting a speaker. I must have a speaker around here somewhere, and just try it on a speaker and see if I hear the pops and farts and everything else, because if that is, it's on the track, or it's something to do with the amplifier, who knows. But yeah, so let me just change the lens because this is a bit too intense. Okay, so put a different lens on so it's a bit better, it's a bit further away. You still should be able to see what I'm doing anyway. So, the first thing I need to do is attach the, in fact, I need to push that down a bit, I think. So, let's come on down. Easy tiger. Okay. Thinks it's a tiger, it's got to be heat stroke. Right. So we attach the clevis, which I believe the name is, to the arm. I believe I should really look at in fact I'll look at the other wing to see if it's the first hole or not. The other wing here with the tail, there's that be going on. So it is hard to see. There's the other wing, I didn't take this off. Yep, it's the top. It's the top ool. So that's correct. So we'll stick the top hole. Then we've got our box of tricks, which I'll connect up. Just a power supply. That's all it is, really. Turn on my little servo tester. We'll put it. So that'd be down, so that would be all the way up. Okay, so we know the up position. Now let's see if we can get that on the spindle without breaking it. In fact, it would help if I had this the right way around. The clevis is back to front, so that's always a good thing. So you might not have to do this. It's only if you make a mistake like I did, or it comes off for some reason. Why they didn't do it so it's a shorter lead. Right. So as you can see, that is it's a bit. Oh, sorry. It's a bit flappy, but that is the up position. So as you can see, like that way. See how it sticks out. Now, I don't know why they didn't make this arm smaller. I don't know. I mean, let's turn it the other way. You know, that could have gone down a couple more steps. If I can see, it's down. The flappy is down. That could have come down a couple more steps, I think. Which means it wouldn't have been poking up so much. So let's just stick that back up again. Now it's a bit flappy, so I'm going to see if I can turn it another notch. I don't think I can, but I might be able to. I don't want to put too much pressure on the servo, so it might be better that I'll leave it like that and then maybe turn, because it's a bit flappy. let's take that out, and if I turn it on here, should be clockwise, I believe. I better hold that while I'm doing it. Turn it twice, I think. So I'm just tightening up the clevis to make it shorter. Hopefully it will work. So that looks better anyway that way. Let's close it down. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit flappy anyway. It's not a perfect fit on there. I'll have a look, but it's something we can always mess about and tighten up with, and bits and pieces. I mean, this one here, I mean, I haven't touched this one, and it's right over, so I don't. That's right up. So this is weird. Let's have a look at this other wing, shall we? Hopefully you can still see it in shot. I'm kind of facing away from what I normally do, so that sticker's come off. So I said about that, so we can stick that down again. So the flap is tight. It's still not the greatest fit on earth, but that's right up. That's really interesting, isn't it? Why that is so far up in the air. As you can see, that is sticking right out there. See that back there? Yeah. So let me put this servo on this one. Landing gear, no, I want landing gear door, which is that one. So stick that in there. Oh, see, so now that's at its bottom position. Open, close, and look where that is when that's closed. So we need to tinker around with some of these. I mean, I'm quite surprised that it's actually come out like this, especially from Freewing. You know, that is the full extent of close, so it's not as if it's like something to do, yes, you should have it connected to the receiver, because you know, they haven't made a hole here to get into that screw. So I mean, I suppose you could, the clevis hasn't got that much more turn, so I would say this needs to go another turn. Or is it the clevis? We could try the clevis, couldn't we? So let's bring that down. I mean, this is the other wing. Let's get our first. In fact, our first wing is done, isn't it? Yes, he says. So let's turn that around. It's hard to see what I'm doing today, isn't it? My camera work gets worse, I swear. So let's unhook that, and we needed to at least do it 1, 2, 3 turns maybe. What the hell, let's give it 5 turns, just give it large, as long as the wheel comes out, which it looks like it will. So let's then turn the servo back. There you go, it's about the same as the other one. A little bit flappy, we could do that even tighter maybe. Let's see if we can. I don't know how much more screw it's got on it, but as long as it comes out far enough for the wheel to come out, that's fine. We might have to do that. Trouble is, I don't like it like that. With, you know, this is the front of the wing, so you know the air could get under there and do all sorts of things. I mean, that should be there. It's almost like, I don't know. Let's try. Let's just open it up. Let's see if I can turn it a bit more so it becomes a bit tighter. I mean, it's not going to be perfect anyway, because I mean, if you look, you've only got one arm on here, so it's always pulling down the back. I know it's hard because obviously you can't put it in the middle because of the wheel, but maybe, I don't know, you know, people design these, and normally Freewing's pretty awesome, so I'm not sure what happened here. So once that's in place, the wheel, if you look at the arc of the wheel, oops, sorry, look at the wheel coming down, that shouldn't hit, and that's something we might have to mess about with. So Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. It pulls the back down lovely, but that front just, whether it does anything in the air, I don't know. So I need to turn this back. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, because that didn't look like. I think we'll probably mess about with that a bit more once the both wings are together and we can get the landing gear out. So look at that. Oh god, it's worse than the other one. Crazy, huh? You would have thought, I don't know. I don't know, you would have thought. Well, I would have expected more from me buck, that's for sure. Well, absolutely crazy. So while I'm messing about with these flaps, an interesting thing, I started reading up on the actual Mustang itself, the P51D, and the P51D didn't really come about until 1943, 44. The Mustang, but the story, as I start with the story, what's going on. The story is that we wasn't making enough Spitfires. I know it's bringing up the war, and I do apologise for anyone that's you know, still upset about the war or whatever. Either end, there's a lot of deaths involved. But anyway, with this, we're talking about warbirds, not what they did. Whereas the Spitfires, we couldn't make enough, so we ordered a load of planes from America before they entered the war. And they sent over a Mustang with a different engine. It could go long range, but it wasn't that efficient, and it did use a lot of fuel. Now, it wasn't until America was in the war that they flew from England day raid bombers to over the water, and Spitfires and the Mustang didn't have that range. Well, it was Americans, sorry, because the Brits were per night and the Americans per day, and they didn't have the range to go over with the bombers, so they kind of stopped just at the edge of France, and then the bombers were on their own, and a lot of men and women, well, I think it was mainly men in the airplanes, in the bombers, lost their lives. They were just sitting ducks, and the enemy at that time were waiting just out the range of the planes, and I'm trying to think what plane it was now that they flew. I think it was the Thunderbolt that was escorting. So basically the British said, well, you know, what about we put our Merlin engine in a Mustang? And they redesigned the original Mustang, which was a slim, and put this little underbelly on it, which is to help it cool down, I believe. And it put a couple of drop tanks on there, and they could follow the American B-52s, I think they were, all the way to their target and come back. And if they was forced into combat, they would drop their fuel tanks, the drop tanks as they were, and carry on fighting. And it's fascinating. If I remember, I will put a link to the video that I watched. It's quite a lengthy video, but you know, the pilot said that you know, it was the American pilot said it was the best thing they ever flew. You know, with the power and efficiency of the Merlin engine, and just this was so easy to fly. It was literally become a part of you. So it's just some interesting facts there about how this plane come about. You know, it had full arsenal. I mean, when you think about it, I think the Spitfire had like Enfield 22 rounds, and I'm not sure what rounds these had, but it was pretty awesome. I mean, the more and more you look at this, I mean, I am pretty disappointed with the. I know it's in the air and it's beautiful and everything, but you know, it's just the actual mouldings around the guns are a bit. You know, the more and more you look at something, you notice something. Have you ever noticed that? You see it once, and think, oh wow, that's brilliant. And then when you start studying it, you know, simple things. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, can you see all that crustiness around the guns? How it's not really made properly. You know, I don't know if I got a Friday plane. Maybe, you know, maybe Motion RC send me all the Friday planes, including the Friday sound system. But I don't know. I shouldn't say that because they're lovely people. But over in Europe, But anyway, enough about that. Let's just get these flaps so they're, I mean, I won't be able to know until I actually get up in there if that's going to affect it. But if you know, if that's letting in wind, you know, and that's going to pull it out. If it does, if I pull a turn in it, I don't know. Maybe there's something we can do to that afterwards on the wings. You know, if I really wanted to, I could shorten the strut, re-bend that, look at the servo and play about with the servo positioning. Yeah, I think that might have to be that, because I'm not happy with that at all. Putting up a bit of paint, this tape, a bit annoying. I'll see if I can get some silver paint or something and spray that up. But yeah, I'm not on a whinge today, you know, even though I'm very hot at the moment because I had to turn off the cooling fan, which is over in the background, that black thing over there. It's just that, you know, I think I'm still, I've probably still got the ump from yesterday for the RC sound not working as it should do. So I think, you know, that's how it's going to live. I don't see any other way of rectifying that. You know, you get a lot, but I spoke to my brother yesterday, and he was saying that, you know, he's watched a video where, you know, they've built it and got it in the air and made it all in one 30-minute session. I said to him, but I like to get a bit more up close and personal and show everybody what they're getting. It's easy enough to show this through the air, which I'm sure it flies brilliantly, and it's going to be great. But sometimes you just want a bit more on that. You know, if some people can only afford the one plane and they save all their hard-earned money and buy their plane, and if they get it and it's not really someone who's built it, it's just built it on a factory line, need to get it out by the end of the day, get it shipped, get paid, and they're not putting the passion in for it. You know, you do hear about Motion RC and Freewing and how much passion the people are putting into it. Well, you know, if I was bringing out a product, I would moan at that. I'd say, go back to the drawing board. You know, that's not good. You know, it's not me. I'm not building planes. You know, they do a good job. It's just, I don't know. It's just, you know, little things like this. I mean, you look at the hinge here. I don't think you can see that. You might be able to, but see here, it's got all crocodile across there, as if they heated it up and they overheated it. You know, and then here it's smooth. So I don't know if the press was having a bad day. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good things about this plane, don't get me wrong. It looks absolutely fantastic. But we're just looking, I'm just a bit annoyed about the flaps, I think. The, not flaps, the landing gear doors. But yeah, as I say, it is everybody's choice to watch these videos. And if they do annoy you because I'm not getting things done in one day, I apologise. But I prefer to take my time, get it right, get things sexy and show everybody what can be. I mean, you've got to admit it does, you know. I think it's the passion of that I like the Mustang. You know, it's like my passion for a Spitfire. It's the same thing. Probably because of the Merlin engine, I don't know. But it's just a lovely looking warbird. You know, they said the pilots and the ground crew used to fight whose plane it was. You know, the guy that's the crew chief, you know, the crew chief said, oh, it's my plane. You know, and the pilot said, no, it's my plane. You know, I put my name on it. Because this is where all the names come from. You see, the pilots got their own plane. And if they did survive, then they started putting their girlfriends, wives' names on there. Or as you'll see in the story in that link. It's quite interesting what they do. So I get these wings together, I think. They only go for, there is only a one spar. Do I want to glue them? Does it say to glue? I don't know. I mean, let's have a look in the Bible. This is going on longer than I anticipated, and I can only apologise, but we've been fraught with issues. So, I mean, obviously here is the, I said it again, obviously. Here's where all the, you know, all the electronics and the gearing and everything else went, which is like, well, okay, well, I didn't want to do that. I liked it a bit neater. I mean, it all fits. I mean, it is well designed in some, you know, it was well designed, but I think the finishing article was not as good, I think, as it should be from Freewing. Freewing are brilliant people, they really are. Someone's alarm's going off in the car. A story. I went to Wings and Wheels last summer. It was the hottest summer ever, and we stayed up there. Myself and my wife stayed up there in a tent, and just so we could get the full days of all the planes and all that sort of thing. And we were just getting into bed that first night, and my alarm kept going off. And now you think about it, we're in a massive field, lots of tents, lots of caravans, everything else. I must have been really upsetting a few people. My alarm kept going off. So I said, right, I'm going to sit in the car. If I sit in the car, I don't have to put the alarm on, and I can just fall asleep. And what did I see? I saw one of them little, well, that's about an inch, it's about 20mm inch green bug, and it was moving across my sensors, and that was enough to set the alarm off. Now, sorry for all you green bug lovers, but I had to get rid of it, and the alarm didn't go off again. So, little funny story there, but you can imagine. I'll just get inside the tent, and it's our first night, and I'm absolutely knackered for all the drive and putting up the tent before it was dark. And I literally had my car keys in my hand as we was lying down, and Zap turning the alarm off. It was very funny. It wasn't at the time. I was getting the right ump, but that was the hottest summer, and it was quite horrible in the tent. Actually, it was very hot. I mean, it was like at night time. It was 23, whatever that is in the other end of the scale. Right. Anyway, so it doesn't really give any details. This is what I was saying about this. It's good. It explains how they've made it, but it's got a couple of spars that go in, and then we've got a couple of clamps that come through here onto the fuselage. So yeah, sorry if I'm moaning, but let's turn that back off. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I thought it would be nice today, but it's not bad, I suppose. I mean, maybe I'm just sort of, I'm overthinking it. I don't think, if it's flying through the air, is it going to really matter that much? I don't know. I don't know, but let's get the spars anyway. Let me just pause it a second there, because I believe the spars are over the other side. And as if I never went. Right, so we've got our little 2 spars. As you can see on this one, if it's not too bright, you can see the little kind of white glue stuff that they put on there. The cable comes down here, so it must quite why that's hanging out there. I would have thought that would have brought it back into here to join this up. And the same with these. This is I think this is the LED for the Retracts. Excuse me. And that kind of just hangs out as well. So let's just put these together and see what goes. I mean, let's just undo this one. I've undone the other one. Moaning Chris today. Is it because I've done 3 shows in a row? No. Is it because it's really hot outside? No. Is it because the plane is one of them planes? Yes. Right, so let's make sure I haven't got anything spiky, and then these will just fit in nicely into the pre-made so there you go. There's like a bigger carbon fibre tubes. I believe that's I don't know if that's meant to, oh, there you go. I was going to say, ooh. So let's get this up and out the way, and let's oh, hello. That's the old flap saying hello. How you doing? You feeling good? That's what it was saying. I can understand flap talk. So let's try and not drop the wing and stick it in that little hole. Now the big question is, am I going to? In fact, let's just pull that out a bit more. I think what I'm trying. There we go. It's a bit overly. I don't know why. Maybe the end's a bit squished. Right, there we go. Right, so let's push, stretch and push. Right, okay, so I need to get these cables out up this way. Am I still on camera? I don't know. Let's zoom in a bit more. Can we zoom a bit more? Turn it a bit more. Did I leave it on? There we go. There we go. Sorry to throw you around. This is when I guess the other lens would have been good. It's almost like maybe a bit of tape would be a good across there. Okay, let's do enjoy the way I do things. Trust me, I want to get out there and fly all these babies, but we can't. A day like today, I would have been down the field. And we would have been flying planes. Most definitely. There is no wind, or hardly any. It's a lovely sunny day. I would have got up the crack of dawn this morning, charged all my batteries, made myself a nice packed lunch, a flask of coffee, some cold drinks, and I've been down the field in the sun having a good time with my fellow club members, clubbians as I said. Trust me, I would have been there, but I can't. We have been told by our club not to be at the field for obvious reasons, that you never know, you forget, you know, you give each other two meters distance, but not being there is better. And hopefully, I'm hoping that I'll have many more years to come. So what's a few months? That's the way I look at it. Okay, so let's give this the final push without getting the thing, and there you go. Oh, look at that, beautiful. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. There's it. There she is. Look. Wow, look at that. That is a big wing. I can't even get it shot. I did. Oh God, I forgot it again. I've forgotten what it means when the wings are slightly up like the Spitfire. I've forgotten. Oh, my brain. But I didn't realise that the Mustang had the similar wing to the Spitfire. I can't remember what it's called. I will probably overwrite that on the video. But I mean, what we're looking at there, 55-inch wingspan, and that is 1 meter 40, 1 meter 400 or whatever it is. That's a big wing. Is it going to fit in the hangar? Wow. Yeah, it can fit in the hangar, but I might leave it off. I might leave it off. I mean, the cable's here, so let's bring it a bit closer now. Let me just move you, so hold tight. Going on a ride. There you go. And if I move you a bit closer, and you're going on a ride again, just like being at a park. There you go. Hey, we're falling down. Right. So here's all the cables coming out. Doesn't leave you a lot to plug into, to get into, if you know what I mean. That's as far as they come out, which is fine, I guess. There's all the lights and bits and pieces. I'm going there all static anyway. Landing gear, flaps, ailerons. What's that? Landing gear door. That'll have two of those. Two landing gear doors, I would presume. Yep, there's the other landing gear door. That's quite interesting, isn't it? That one of the servos is what I call the older type of colouring, the JS colouring, I think it's called, and the other one's the new one. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Maybe it's like a wing section that someone was making, and then someone made something else. Right, here, there's there we go. There's a little dent there. It's not a problem. James Motion RC. If you watch Motion RC's videos, which are really good, James in America, it's on today actually at 5 PM UK. He was saying about this, that this little, if you make dents and stuff, yes, you can fill it in. I've got foam filler, and if we get some of this silver spray, I can spray it again. Or what we could do, we could just, make it a bit more denty in different ways, and then do a bit of spraying and make it look like it's been hit. There's some great people out there Mary Boozer is another channel, and some of the things that they do when they spray are phenomenal. So I was thinking that we could try and do some of this on here, is like do some weathering. So, but you'll see in the video that I will link you to for this video that I watched the other day, and you look at the airplanes, the Mustangs, before they went into war fight, basically, they were spotless, absolutely spotless. So it's like, well, why am I doing weathering? Because the planes don't look like that. So, you know, they come down and they clean them all. You know, I'm sure there'd be some sort of engine, but have a look, and it's like, oh, maybe it shouldn't be weathered because it would all look shiny and lovely. So yeah, alrighty, so we didn't get as much done as I wanted to today. I did want to get the towel on and put it all together basically to see if it works okay. But this is a, you know, I will head it up with you know, if you have a broken servo flap or something like that, just so you know, if you do, it doesn't happen to you, if you bought the old Crow and you've put the wing on and you've torn that off, don't panic, it's pretty easy fix. We can work on the little flap adjustments and bits and pieces. The, so I keep calling it flap, a cabin door, that's what they call it, the cabin doors afterwards. But I mean, you know, I do moan about bits and pieces about the plane, but I mean overall it's a lovely looking plane. I mean the rivets and everything that's on the plane is, I'm sure it's just, you know, it's just me being picky as I do. So without rattling on anymore, I hope you have a great weekend and a brilliant start of the week. Next video will probably be on the Wednesday. We'll do another lockdown special if I get time. I should be, which then will definitely be putting the towel on, definitely putting the wings on and firing her up. Hopefully Mr. RC Sound will have emailed me by then and we'll even have the sound going off. But until then, listen, have a great time, be safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye now.